邪魔だよ。消えちゃえ。
ご飯さん危ない。
Man, it sure must suck to get your ass beat like that, Gohan. If only you could have done something about this, you know, but I don't think it was anything you could have done. Let me think real quick. Oh, wait, you could have trained during that fucking time of peace you had, you know, you could have done that, but I guess, you know, everything, the entire world, your family and shit, and everything being on the line, it isn't enough motivation for you to train, I guess, so... Yeah, good job, man. I mean, damn, you could have clobbered the fucking Majin Buu and shit. The candy demon stuff is not saving him, nor his fucking other hacks, but... Yeah, it's just not enough motivation, I guess. You know, you have fun sitting there with your freshly beaten ass. I'm gonna leave now, so... Yeah, reap what the fuck you fucking sowed, or whatever the fuck. Okay, bye. Goddamn. Alright, so I don't really know how long ago this happened, but well, a bit ago, this game released, which is like, what, a reworked version of this game? Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. And, well, I've played it. I've gotten every character to level 99, including Goku Black, and I didn't just cheese the entire quest via, well, killing an alt account over and over again. No, I killed so many goddamn players. Those newbies that died with the 2 hits, you guys were not safe. Yeah, you guys were not safe. I went after you guys frame fucking 1. 3 goddamn kills. None of you guys survived my wrath. Goddamn. Anyhow, I know that Samus is looking at me right now and it's like, damn, good job, mortal, you killed a whole bunch of the other mortals. Anyhow, I got Goku Black, I'm level 99, and well, here we are. Now, well, I'm basically here to go ahead and talk about some of my issues with the game, overall, starting off with the game's combat and then the game's grind, overall, so... How do we get to doing it already? So first off, I feel like my biggest issue with the game's combat is that, well, fights would sometimes last for 5 years. Yeah, so from my experience with the game, fights would sometimes last for 5 years. I'm pretty sure I've had a ranked match that's like 15 minutes long, which is, goddamn, I'm gonna die of old age before these fights end, so... Yeah, and I feel like the main reason for this, at least, is healing. Basically, healing moves in this game can, well, exist. They're the G moves, they often heal you. Not every character has a healing G move, but... Yeah, it's just, they're definitely, at least, the main reason that's why these fights drag on for so long, is to heal back a whole bunch of health, and, well... Yeah, and then you gotta take more hits to die, and that extends the length of a fight, and yeah, that's kind of a pain in the ass. Anyhow, to move on from all that, there's also touching the ground. So if you're flying and you touch the ground, you will instantly start walking. You will instantly start touching grass. Good job. Anyhow, if you're fighting someone in the air, and you're fighting close to the ground, this can be kind of irritating if you keep repeatedly touching the ground on accident and then going into the grounded state. Then you're gonna get back to flying via double tapping space, which... Yeah, a bit irritating when that happens over and over again. And, well, I do feel like Thomas, you're done about this. Like, I do feel like it is at least cool that you can, you know, transition from flying to walking or running via just touching the ground, you know, it makes traversal just more satisfying and fun overall. But, like, I feel like at least if you're fighting someone, it shouldn't work like that. You shouldn't be going into the ground and say if you touch the ground if you're fighting someone. Outside of that, I feel like it should work the same as it currently does, but if you're fighting someone, I don't think it should work like that, okay? I feel like you shouldn't be able to go into the ground and say they're touching the ground. You should need to manually turn off flying, but... Anyhow, now to we'll end this off via talking about, well, my issues with the game's grind. So, first off, there's still Goku Black and Goku bosses that have, like, a really fucking high level and are just built different overall. But, the thing about them is that they have this little shield bar thing, whatever you can call it, and, well, with that active, they do not take jack shit for knockback to a whole bunch of moves, like beams or M1s and shit. And, well, I find it to be a bit annoying. It's annoying how, you know, your attacks will not knock them away, so they just keep getting on your ass and invading your personal space, and it's just... I find it to be annoying. At least you can get some distance from them via flying, but, like, I feel like you should still be able to knock them backwards overall and stuff. So you can actually get some space via doing that. It's just annoying when you just keep getting on your ass over and over again because you just cannot get jack shit for space via hitting landing attacks and shit. So, yeah, I just feel like flying just isn't good enough overall for, you know, getting away. I feel like you should still be able to knock them backwards. Anyhow, and not enough to fucking extending this shit needlessly. How about we move on to the next thing? Overall, key sensing. So, key sensing is something that you should just know frame when you're playing this game. It's really useful for finding stuff like NPCs or quests and shit. Or people, so you can go ahead and kill them and shit, because why not? Maybe you want to do a quest, something like that, or you just feel like committing genocide, I guess, understandable. Anyhow, the game teaches you about key sensing via an NPC that exists, that gives you a quest to do it. Now, the thing is that if you spawn in and you don't end up finding this NPC instantly, you'll pretty much just end up running around without key sensing. Besides, you figure out about it, on your own. So they're gonna freestyle without key sensing and just kind of not really know where anything is. And I don't really think that that's much of a good thing. Overall, I feel like the game should do a better job of actually teaching you about key sensing. Maybe add it into the tutorial, or maybe spawn you run into the NPC or something like that, so you just instantly know about it. Because I feel like you should just know about it frame one because of how useful it is. But yeah. Anyhow, to move on yet again, I want to talk about some of the parts of the quest I just didn't really like. So first off, super sprint. So there's a part of one quest where you get a super sprint, basically just run around really fast and Naruto run and avoid copyright strikes left and right. But yeah, you're just gonna do that for like a certain amount of time or whatever. And well, I never really like doing that all too much. It's not like a super big deal, but it's not really that fun when all I'm doing is just Naruto running around at high speeds. It's just not that interesting overall, and I just preferred if I didn't need to do that. So yeah, plus it's a part of another quest. You have to like block a certain amount of attacks or something like that overall. And well, yeah, because that would take a while for me to actually do. Like, I'd often just try and do quests via just having them casually get done via me just playing the game. But well, if I tried to do that with this quest, the blocking part of it would take 5 quadrillion years for me to go ahead and get done. So I'd instead go ahead and find an NPC and get them to want to kill me. Yeah, just fighting them a few times, and then I just start blocking a whole bunch of attacks so I can actually get this quest done. Well, I really like doing that. All I'm doing is just blocking a whole bunch of attacks, but I mean, what other choice do I really have? Oh, I want to do the quest so I can get NPC or XP, and well, my other option is to have this shit take 5 years, so yeah, kind of unfortunate to just start manually blocking a whole bunch of attacks over and over again instead of getting on my opponent's ass so I can get the quest done. So I don't really like that overall, and I prefer it if I just didn't need to do that, so yeah, anyhow, I'm done now, so I don't know, like and subscribe or some shit, I don't really know. Other people say that shit and I'm sitting here doing it too, so yeah. Anyhow, have a nice day, and well, bye.